Have you ever walked home alone and suddenly felt like someone was behind you? Not because you heard footsteps, not because you saw a shadow, just that feeling. The kind that makes you look over your shoulder even when every part of you hopes nobody is there. Now imagine that when you turn around, you see a woman. Long black hair, white surgical mask, standing perfectly still. She doesn't scream. She doesn't chase you. She simply tilts her head and asks one question. Am I pretty? Here's the problem. If you answer no, she kills you. If you answer yes, she takes out a pair of scissors and makes your face look exactly like hers. Tonight, we're going to Japan to talk about one of the oldest urban legends still terrifying people today. A ghost whose story became so believable that schools changed dismissal times, parents escorted children home, and police officers increased patrols because children were genuinely convinced she was waiting outside. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. Her name was Naomi, just an ordinary middle school student. The kind of girl who stayed late after class because she attended Juku, Japan's evening cram schools. By the time she finally finished studying, the sky had already turned black. The streets were unusually quiet. Most shops had closed. Only a few vending machines still glowed beneath the streetlights. She took the same shortcut every evening, a narrow alley lined with concrete walls. Nothing ever happened there. At least, nothing had ever happened before. The summer heat had disappeared. A cool breeze drifted through the alley. But for some reason, Naomi couldn't stop wiping sweat from her hands. Something felt wrong. She couldn't explain it. It wasn't fear. Not yet. Just the strange feeling that the world around her had become too quiet. Even the insects had stopped making noise. One streetlight flickered. On. Off. On. Off. The shadows stretched across the pavement like black water. Naomi laughed to herself. You're imagining things. She adjusted her backpack, started humming quietly, and kept walking. Then, a woman's voice. Soft. Calm. Close enough that she could almost feel warm breath behind her ear. Am I pretty? Naomi froze. Every muscle in her body locked. Her heartbeat became so loud she couldn't hear anything else. Slowly, she turned around. A woman stood only a few feet away. She was tall. Long black hair hung past her shoulders. A white surgical mask covered the lower half of her face. At first glance, she looked completely ordinary. Almost elegant, beautiful even. But something about her felt off. Too still. People breathe. People blink. People shift their weight. This woman didn't move at all. She simply stared with those eyes, dark, unblinking, fixed entirely on Naomi. Naomi swallowed. Who are you? The woman ignored the question. Instead, she tilted her head at an angle no neck should comfortably reach, then repeated herself. Am I pretty? Naomi felt the words echo inside her skull. Not like sound, more like someone whispering directly into her thoughts. She wanted to run. Her brain screamed at her, "Run!" But her legs wouldn't move. It felt as though the ground had swallowed her feet. The woman took one slow step forward, then another, not walking, almost gliding. She stopped inches away, close enough for Naomi to notice something strange. There was no smell, no perfume, no breath. Nothing. Just cold. An unnatural cold that seemed to radiate from beneath the woman's mask. Am I pretty? Naomi knew, somehow, that she had to answer. Silence felt dangerous. More dangerous than saying the wrong thing. Yes. Her voice barely came out. You're pretty. The woman's eyes narrowed, almost smiling. Then, very slowly, she reached for her mask. Her fingers looked strangely pale, too long. Her fingernails yellowed, almost like old bone. She hooked a finger beneath the elastic band and pulled. The mask slipped away. Naomi stopped breathing. The woman's mouth was split from ear to ear. Not scarred, not stitched. Torn. Raw flesh stretched across both cheeks. The wound looked fresh, as though it had never healed. Rows of exposed teeth sat inside an impossibly wide grin. Blood glistened where lips should have been. It wasn't a smile. It looked like someone had taken a knife and carved laughter into a human face. The woman leaned closer. "So," she whispered, "even now, am I pretty?" Naomi's mind went completely blank. She'd heard this story before. Every Japanese child had. Say no, and she'll kill you. Say yes, and she'll make you look exactly like her. There wasn't a correct answer, only different ways to die. The woman's ruined smile widened. "You need to answer." Naomi's lips trembled. "Yes, I think you're still beautiful." For one terrifying second, the woman didn't move. Then, she laughed. Not loudly, not hysterically, just a soft, broken laugh. The kind that sounded like someone trying to cry and smile at the same time. "Good," she whispered. "Then, would you like to become beautiful too?" Metal flashed beneath the streetlight. Scissors. Long. Heavy. The blades slowly opened, then closed. Opened, then closed. Naomi finally moved. She turned and ran. Her shoes slapped against the pavement. Her backpack bounced wildly behind her. She didn't care. She just ran. The alley seemed longer than before. Every streetlight looked identical. Every corner led into another empty street. Behind her, the sound continued. Not getting quieter, getting closer. She looked over her shoulder. The woman wasn't running. She was simply there. Always the same distance away. No matter how fast Naomi sprinted, the woman never fell behind. It was as though space itself refused to let Naomi escape. Then she heard the whisper again. soft, patient, right beside her ear. "You should look like me." Naomi screamed, "Help!" Her voice bounced off the empty buildings. Nothing. She ran harder. Her lungs burned. Her legs felt heavy, like someone had tied weights around her ankles. Then, lights. White flashlight beams. 2 police officers. "Hey," one of them shouted. "Miss, over here!" Naomi stumbled toward them, almost collapsing. She grabbed one officer by the arm, crying so hard she could barely breathe. There's a woman. She has her mouth." She pointed behind her. The officers shined their flashlights down the alley. Nothing. Empty road, concrete walls, a single flickering streetlight. No woman. No scissors. No footsteps. One officer smiled gently. "I think you're safe now." Naomi wanted to believe him. She really did. Then she felt something. A cold breath against her left ear. So close, it almost touched her skin. "You've already seen me. You can't escape anymore." Naomi slowly turned. There was nobody there. The officers escorted her home. Rain from earlier that evening had left puddles scattered across the road. As they walked, Naomi happened to glance down. She saw the officers' reflections. Normal. Then, her own. She stopped walking. Because the girl reflected in the water was smiling. Not a normal smile. A mouth stretching impossibly wide, from ear to ear. She reached for her face. Her lips were still there. Normal. Intact. But in the puddle, the reflection kept smiling. And from that night onward, Naomi was never truly alone again. So, who exactly did Naomi meet that night? Was she just another frightened teenager whose imagination spiraled out of control? Or did she encounter something that Japanese people have feared for nearly 1,000 years? Because here's the thing. Most people think Kuchisake-onna is a modern urban legend, a ghost story invented by schoolchildren sometime in the 1970s. But that's not actually true. To find her real origin, you have to travel back nearly 900 years. Back to Japan's Heian Period, around the year 1000. Back then, there lived a woman famous for one thing above all else: her beauty. Different versions of the legend describe her differently. Some say she was the wife of a powerful samurai. Others say she was his concubine. But every version agrees on one detail. People couldn't stop looking at her. She knew she was beautiful. And eventually, that beauty became part of her identity. According to the oldest stories, she would stop strangers in the village and ask them the exact same question. Am I beautiful? People always answered yes, not because they were afraid, because it was true. Until one day, her husband began believing she had become unfaithful. Whether she actually cheated, nobody knows. Some versions say she never did. Others say jealousy simply poisoned the samurai's mind. Either way, one afternoon, he drew his sword, grabbed her face, and slashed her mouth open from ear to ear. As blood poured down her clothes, he reportedly screamed, "Who will think you're beautiful now?" She died soon afterward. But in Japanese folklore, not everyone stays dead. Japan has a belief known as onryo, vengeful spirits, ghosts born not simply from death, but from overwhelming hatred. People who were murdered, betrayed, abused. Those who died carrying emotions too powerful to disappear. Instead of passing on, their resentment remains, growing stronger until it becomes something inhuman. Many of Japan's most famous ghosts belong to this category. Not monsters born evil, people whose suffering twisted them into something terrifying. According to the legend, that's exactly what happened to her. She returned. Still searching, still asking the same question. Except now, there was no correct answer anymore. Because whether you called her beautiful or ugly, someone always lost. For centuries, the story quietly survived. It changed as Japan changed. During the Edo period, people sometimes blamed encounters on kitsune, shape-shifting fox spirits famous for tricking humans. Others believed the woman appeared only near cemeteries or abandoned roads. Every region added something new. Different rules, different endings, different ways to survive. But then, something happened. The story stopped being folklore and became national panic. December, Gifu Prefecture. At first, only a handful of children mentioned seeing a strange woman. Long black hair, white surgical mask, standing near schools, watching. Adults dismissed it. Kids tell ghost stories. That's what kids do. Then more reports appeared. Children refused to walk home alone. Teachers noticed entire groups taking longer routes just to avoid certain streets. Parents began calling schools, asking whether anyone else had seen the masked woman. Within weeks, the story escaped Gifu. It spread to neighboring prefectures, then across Japan. No internet, no smartphones, just children talking to each other, passing stories from classroom to classroom, from one neighborhood to another. Professor Iakura Yoshiyuki later offered an interesting explanation. Around this time, Japan was experiencing a boom in evening cram schools. Students from different districts suddenly mixed together every night. They exchanged rumors, urban legends, ghost stories, then carried them back to their own schools. The legends spread, almost like a virus. But there may have been another reason. Think about it. For many children, cram school meant walking home after dark for the very first time. Suddenly, they were sharing the streets with adults they'd never noticed before. Drunk businessmen, night shift workers, women wearing surgical masks. Shadows looked different after sunset. Ordinary strangers became frightening. And eventually, all of those fears found a single face: Kuchisake-onna. By the summer of 1979, the panic had exploded. One survey claimed almost every Japanese child knew her story. Schools began dismissing students in groups. Teachers escorted children home. Neighborhood watch patrols appeared. Police increased patrols near elementary schools. Some schools even told children, never walk home alone. Imagine that. An entire country changing its routine because of a ghost story. Or perhaps because people weren't completely convinced it was just a ghost story. Then the newspapers arrived. And suddenly, the fear became much harder to dismiss. On January 26, 1979, the Gifu Daily News published an interview with an elderly farmer. She claimed she'd seen something standing near her field at dusk. A woman, completely still, watching. At first, she assumed it was someone from the village, until she noticed the face. According to her testimony, the woman's mouth stretched unnaturally toward both ears. The newspaper printed her account. Other newspapers copied it. Then national magazines joined in. Almost overnight, what had been whispered between children became front-page news. Parents who had laughed at their kids stopped laughing. 5 months later, another incident pushed the panic even further. June 21st, 1979. Police in Himeji arrested a 25-year-old woman. She had deliberately dressed as Kuchisake-onna. She'd been frightening people at night. Nobody knows exactly why she did it, but the damage was done. Because once people knew someone had actually copied the legend, they started asking a terrifying question. If one person was pretending to be Kuchisake-onna, how many others were out there? And suddenly, every masked woman became suspicious. Every quiet alley felt dangerous. Every walk home felt longer than before. Maybe that's why this story has survived for nearly 1,000 years. Because unlike most monsters, Kuchisake-onna doesn't hide in abandoned castles. She doesn't wait inside haunted forests. She appears exactly where ordinary life ends. On your walk home, outside your school, at the end of a quiet street, where you're just close enough to home to think nothing bad could possibly happen. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe. And I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast, You Can't Unhear.